And we're back. We are going to talk to Mrs. Carey now. Figure out what she says. Try to read her. Because she seems devout enough to, do the right thing once she figures it out. But then a murder happens, and now she's, she thought she did the right thing, but she didn't. No, because, we'll figure it out.
Does the name Liam Hurtley mean anything to you?
No, I don't know anyone by that name.
Madam, I am aware of your affinity with Liam Hurtley.
Oh, what are you talking about?
So I would imagine their romantic correspondence is better evidence than just one-sided Hurtley's letter, because then she could just say that, okay, but it was one-sided.
Mrs. Carey, we found your letters.
My letters? I asked Liam to return them to me. I wanted to burn them.
Why did Mr. Hurtley put them inside the garden shed?
I don't know. I wanted them back, but I couldn't see him, not after what happened.
Well, here they are.
Oh, this is terrible. Terrible. Liam, how could he? After what he has done.
You believe that he killed your husband?
No, I do not know. I do not know. Leave me alone, please.
Thank you, madam. I wonder if Wiggins has managed to find any sailors.
Now that we've successfully made her cry, let's just get out of here. So, she wasn't going to go for him anyway because she didn't want to see him, at least for now, but you never know what's going to happen in the future. Like, a year from now or 2 years from now, she might be so happy that Peter Carey's dead that she's going to go with him again. So, it's one of those things. We need to focus on evidence and then connect the dots in a way that makes sense with all the other evidence. And then we can start spicing it up with conjecture.
Mr. Holmes, we found the sailors from that list you gave us.
Well done, Wiggins. Let me see.
So Hugh Patton's, we have one harpooner and another harpooner. The other one is dead. So I'm guessing if I underline this one, he's going to say that he's dead. But we're looking for him.
This man is a harpooner, and his initials are PC, the same initials that were found on the tobacco pouch. Wiggins, could you gather some information on one of the sailors that you found? His name is Patrick Cairns.
We found Patrick Cairns.
Good job, Wiggins. Where is he?
He lives in a small furnished dump of a room, but he's always at the Sea Witch pub, where he does arm wrestles for money and drinks.
Excellent. Here is your reward. 2 guineas.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So we're sort of nearing the end here of this first case, and I think that there's one issue that I have here is that he's arm wrestling for money and drinks. So that means that he either doesn't have money or he's pretending not to have money. Tin is, I think, relatively soft, I would imagine. So you can break a box of tin and get in the box and use that money. and the tin box is gone. So that means that the one who has it probably has opened it and probably already has the money. So that would mean, sort of, that the murderer is someone who's not around, really. Or then someone, like, if you've murdered someone and you have money, there's always a chance that you're going to get caught. That means that you would want to leave as quick as possible, because out of the options of pretending not to be guilty and then being found guilty, or having a huge head start with a lot of money and cash with only, you know, paper trail leaving you behind, and you're an avid sailor, I would choose probably, well, I would turn myself in because I'm an honorable dude. But then if I was Cairns anyway, I would flee with the money. If I was young, what's his face, Nelligan, I would maybe try and go get the notebook back if I had killed him, but I would probably also leave. If I was the wife, I would not leave, because that would be extremely suspicious, especially if I really didn't have a place to go, and a woman traveling is always different from a man traveling in this era. So when you take that into consideration logically, it would mean that the wife is the guilty party here. And also you have to take into consideration that people might be lying, and they might be trying to manipulate other people and Sherlock as well, and the police. So I'm thinking whether oh yeah. I think last time it was just an empty window. I think you need to look at it the first time, or the first, like when you start off and the window's empty, and then she just walks in the picture and stands there for the rest of the game, or not the game, but however long she stands there. I don't know, because I didn't finish the game, but I think she was there throughout this whole first mission. Yeah, no, actually, yeah, because that's how long I could stare at her, basically. But anyways, getting back to the thinking part. So, and why is it looking out the window? Whatever. So, if it's no, God damn it! Now I've lost train of thought. But if it's the wife, then it would be suspicious for her to run. If the wife manipulated Hurtley to... That was what I was thinking. Wife manipulated Hurtley to sort of kill Peter Carey, and then she would sort of say that you know, no, I can't do it. So she just wanted to get rid of... She was sort of flirting with Liam Hurtley and making him believe that she was in love, and then he would kill Peter Carey. She would push him into doing that, and then once it was done, she would just say no. But since she didn't really obviously point towards Liam Hurtley, that would mean that she's really clever, or then she's trying to hide his guilt because she doesn't want him to get caught. If she was really manipulative, she would have said that they had a gardener, and she would have said that they had an affair even, and you know, she would have opened this whole thing up, because without proper investigation, things just would have gone cold, and then she would actually be more of a suspect than Hurtley, because Hurtley would be an unknown. Basically an unknown. And possibly an unknown. So...
A map of London and the surrounding area. It could be useful.
So, we have the sailor. But we could also go talk to Liam Hurtley first, just to get, you know, squeeze everything out of him, and then we're gonna figure out what to do next. Because then we're gonna go and see the sailor, and we're gonna sort of talk to him as well, and that's, I think, when things are going to sort of come to some type of conclusion, or we have to come to some type of conclusion.
I'm not saying.
Please escort this
Oh, I can ask
suspect
him.
for interrogation.
Right, I think I forgot about the bonds and everything. Alright, so, good. It's always good to just click everyone.
Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, what exactly were you hoping to find inside Peter Carey's cabin?
I was trying to find some information about my father.
So, I'll ask him about this because, well, deducting from all the other things, this is the most sensible one, but he was trying to find information about the father with the bond certificates. Because I would imagine Mycroft led him to Peter Carey, but we'll see.
I assume you had another purpose, to retrieve the bond certificates. Am I correct?
Yes. I discovered some time ago that a few of the missing securities had reappeared on the London market. You can imagine my amazement. I spent months trying to find them, and at last I discovered that the original seller had been Captain Peter Carey. These papers, they belonged to my family, but I could not find them there.
That's all for now. Well, I will see you soon, young man.
Please, let me go! I'm innocent!
So this is where I sort of have there's like a fucking brain aneurysm. So he went to get the bond certificates. And he couldn't find them. Then he had the notebook, and let me just write one thing down. So he had the notebook with him, and he left it with Peter Carey for some reason, or he would have. It was in Peter Carey's hand when he died. It was in Peter Carey's hand when he died, and if he killed him, he would have had to forget about the notebook and taken the money. The reason to come back, if he would have killed him, would be the notebook to sort of eliminate him as a suspect, or then get the information back, whatever was on the notebook, and to sort of use it for whatever he's using it for. And once he uses them, like, what is he? Oh, I'm confused now. So many thoughts in my head. So we are going to go to let me see. Investigate the murder of Peter Carey. So there's nothing here right now. So let's deduct some things, I guess, then. So Judith Carey's confession. Peter Carey, a non-smoker. The missing papers... Missing papers and missing tin box, that's sort of... They're the same thing. Valuable bond certificates were kept inside the stolen tin box. John Nelligan could have been caught stealing the bond certificates. This might have been a motive for him to murder Peter Carey. Yes. Hurtley's footprints and no gardener sort of... I mean, they sort of... What's the end result? Prove that he is the gardener, but we already know that he's the gardener. Judith Carey's letter, Judith Carey's confession, Hurtley's footprints. These aren't really making any sort of direct sense because they're too obvious in a way. But you know, I usually tend to miss the obvious. That's what I do. I skip the obvious stuff, which is very bad, usually. Break-in attempts and missing papers. We already know that he came back for the notebook because the papers were already missing. And now we can wildly speculate that he heard about the papers from somewhere else and then came back for the papers and didn't really care about the notebook anymore, but he would have, yeah, sort of, I mean, it's possible, but it doesn't make sense, really. Liam Hurtley's letter and this, okay, well, right. There is a remote possibility that an unskilled man could manage to pin Peter Carey to the wall with a harpoon. And, I mean, there is. And I remember thinking about this the last time. Because it says there's a remote possibility that an unskilled and untrained man could do it, then we're going to have to go with that. Because, like, is there any chance? All right, we'll figure more out, but let's look at this. John Hopley Nelligan has been found guilty of the murder of Peter Carey. He must be punished by the law for his desperate crime. John Nelligan is a victim of circumstance. His childhood was overshadowed by the loss of his father. He always dreamed of a reunion to find out what happened. He made a poor decision and so fell into trouble. So he's been through a lot, and Carey was, you know, he carried a knife, and so on. So this would make sense in a way, but I would love to use more of these, more of the clues, or all of the clues actually, and then more of these to get sort of the bigger picture. It has been confirmed that Leva Hurtley was flirting with Peter Carey's wife and even fell in love, but it didn't go beyond the affectionate but harmless letters and words. They made, you know, vows and stuff, but we only have one option there for now. So Patrick Cairns and Peter Carey, a non-smoker. So if the pouch belongs to Patrick Cairns, it indicates his presence at the crime scene, but it must still be proven.
If I wish to speak to Cairns without alarming him, I had better dress as a sailor.
Right. So we're going to go to Baker Street, dress as a sailor, not in any cosplay way, and then we're going to look at those clues again before we go in. Because I think the clues could also be clues because the clues could be clues because actually, I'll check the makeup table. I never used it. Make him look like a sailor. Bald cap. I'm not sure what a sailor looks like. I only know one sailor. I guess there's nothing. Maybe a beard. Depends on where you've been sailing. If you're with the crown, I guess you don't get to have a beard. I should make him look scruffy. Scruffy drunk sailor. That's good.
Now I can approach Cairns and see if he recognizes the pouch.
So let's look at the clues a little bit here. Hurtley's footprint. No gardener, I guess. Liam Hurtley's boots match the footprints at Woodman's Lee, thus proving that he was there. Judith Carey denies that he was their gardener. So this is sort of old news. Harmless flirting. Hurtley's presence at Woodman's Lee on the night of the murder is explained by his affection towards Judith Carey and the fact that he worked there as a gardener. This makes sense, but we'll have a look at it later on. So break-in attempt, missing papers, Judith Carey confession, Judith Carey letter. So yeah, now there's another option. It has been confirmed that Liam Hurtley was flirting with Peter Carey's wife and even fell in love, but it didn't go beyond affection. We're all right. Liam Hurtley loved Judith Carey so desperately that his jealousy could have provoked him into committing murder, and it could have. Liam Hurtley's relationship with Judith Carey gives him a motive for killing Peter Carey. Hurtley's presence at Woodman's Lee on the night of the murder. So both of these are true, basically. But we'll just try this one, and it's probably going to change into feat of strength. Because he is, what did that say? Both Nelligan and Hurtley are lying, therefore they might be working together. So that's also a possibility, but how would Nelligan know to find? How would Nelligan know to find him? So John Halpy, Nelligan, and Liam Hurtley conspired together to murder Peter Carey. Nelligan's motive was revenge for Carey's theft. Hurtley's motive was jealousy and his love for Carey's wife. Both guilty of a heinous premeditated crime. Let them be punished by the law. Are guilty of a heinous premeditated crime. Let them be punished by the law. Hurtley was the initiator. Poor Nelligan was just following his lead. So last time I didn't have all these options because I didn't know what I was doing and I was rushing it. So we're gonna look at all this evidence and put it together. Whoops! And I think I might still be able to. So break-in attempts and missing papers. I think this is wrong. No, it's not. So the break-in attempts were made in order to recover the notebook that had been lying in a pool of the victim's blood. This proves the guilt of the person who made these attempts. So it doesn't prove the guilt. Nelligan was looking for his father's papers inside the Black Peter's cabin. It explains his presence at the scene of the murder. I think that's more realistic. John Nelligan could have been caught stealing the bond certificate. This might have been a motive for him to murder Peter Carey. He admitted that he was going in there to look for the bond certificates, and he took the box. John Nelligan is a victim of circumstance. He does not fit the portrait of the murderer either by physical or psychological description. Like, this is more accurate. And he could have been caught, but the problem is with the drinking glasses. So the drinking glasses sort of, there's no reason that they couldn't have had a drink together. But I think this is better because he does not fit the portrait of the physical portrait of the murderer. Psychologically, I cannot say. So, is there anything else? No, there's only Patrick Cairns, and we're gonna combine more clues with him once we reach him. So we're definitely getting somewhere, and much further than I did last time. So he's drunk.
Hello there. Are you Cairns?
What do you want?
I've heard all about the gambling on arm wrestling here. You seem like the likely sort, and I'm up for it.
I start at 10 shillings.
Suits me.
So he has a golden earring, which sort of indicates money, but it's an earring. So if he sells it, he's not going to have the earring anymore, and then he's going to drink the money. And you know, if I was in his position, I wouldn't go into a bar when I didn't have money, and then sell my phone if I could make money by like playing music or something, in a sense. So if he's good at arm wrestling and stuff, there's no reason to sell your, you know, hat or the pants off if you're going to get a drink anyway. So I'm not going to say what I'm doing right now because it's sort of right, so there's three faces that he makes.
You were lucky. I wasn't focused. Let's go again.
So the three faces, he's either restraining, he's either pushing, or he's sort of not doing anything or being neutral. And then you just need to sort of read his face and press buttons. But I'll beat him now because I think I'm going to have to beat him later anyway. So make him sort of owe us money, and then
I'm ready to try again.
Fine. If you want me to take all your money, no problem with that.
right.
Well, good for you, I reckon. You're stronger than you look. Here's your 10 shillings.
I'd like to buy you a drink.
Good winner as well. That's good. Let's have a drink. You're a good type. Seems you've managed to settle down in life. You've got money, eh?
Not all that much.
Oh, well. At least you're not as poor as me.
Right, so again, is he sort of shedding fake tears about his poverty and sitting here with all those bonds, or would he just drink it all, or just leave and drink it all? But we'll have a look at him first. So first is the gold earring, of course. Now that means that he's had money in the past, and he still has the ring. And he's got some dirt on his clothes, but I remember this being wrong. It was like, yeah, cheap clothes, but... Strong hands. Oh yeah, and I should actually hide that. And then this was that he is a smoker, I think. Yeah, yellow nails. And then the tattoo is that he is actually a sailor.
Why do you say poor? You're not working?
I'm a harpooner. But you see, the whalers are rare. They don't pay much. So, as a result, I find myself arm wrestling to pay for my drink.
So there is one thing. Well, we'll talk to him a little bit more, because I have one suspicion.
A harpooner. Interesting. You've had a lot of adventures, I bet.
Of course. It's been a dozen years since I've sailed. I've seen everything. Old Wallace, damn Black Peter, Great Roger. We sailed to the Cape of Good Hope.
So, yeah, I think my suspicion was just confirmed. It means that he has been living off of something for 12 years now. Which means that he has money. And it means that either he has had money before. Well, so yeah, he definitely has had money for 12 years and he hasn't been working. So he arm wrestles for drinks. And what does he eat? He lives in a crappy apartment. Let me just write that down, because he's sort of living the life of a person who wouldn't have money, but then he doesn't have any income, and when he's lying to us, he doesn't really, he doesn't know who we are, so his motivations to lie are different in a sense. So he's just being a poor sailor, cheap clothes, not doing much. And if he got even more money, if he got the tin box with the bond certificates, he could just carry on living his life. So living life pretending to be poor. Or that he didn't have that much money to begin with. But he has some sort of, he's got to have some sort of basic income in a sense where he can, manage.
Black Peter, you say? I've heard rumors about that one.
He was the worst of them all. He was a liar and violent too. Swinging those fists of his around. He was a tyrant and not much of a captain. At least, not as good as Great Roger.
I see. Yes. I was told terrible tales about Black Peter.
But you ain't heard the worst.
Tell me, and let's have another drink.
It was in 1883 that it happened. The August of that year. Peter Carey was captain of the Sea Unicorn, and I was a spare harpooner. We were coming out of the ice pack on our way home. One evening, we saw a little craft that had been blown north. There was only one man on her, and he wasn't a sailor. The crew must have thought that she'd foundered, and they made for the Norwegian coast in the dinghy. I guess they all drowned. We took the man on board.
And who was he?
I don't know. During the crossing, he and the skipper enjoyed some long talks. His baggage was just a tin box.
That's strange enough.
Aye. Even stranger was that on the second night, he disappeared. Nobody knew what happened to him. And of course, nobody could ask Black Peter about it.
You know what happened, don't you?
I do. I saw the skipper tie his heels and push him over the rail in the middle of my watch on that dark night. 2 days before we sighted the Shetland lights.
Black Peter's a murderer.
Aye. Those that know him wouldn't be surprised to hear it. But all this must stay between us. All right?
Of course. Back in a second. I'm off to the Ghazi.
I'll be here with my drink.
Okay, so I need to stop doing one thing, which is thinking while he's talking, because I sort of ignored the first few sentences. You can sort of pick up on important stuff in just a few words in this game and in real life as well. So,
Here it is.
so we're gonna sort this out.
Have you got any tobacco? We've run out of mine.
Nah, I lost my pouch. I don't know where. Wait a minute. What's this?
Oh, is this your tobacco pouch?
Well, oh, it is.
Well, I have to go now. I know a captain who's planning an expedition to Cape Cod. Captain Ahab's his name. He commanded the Pequod. He might need good harpooners. I'll tell him about you.
Maybe. If you like, aye.
I'm done here. It's time to leave.
Okay, so we'll actually turn that around, but just because of that dialogue in the end. He probably doesn't have money. Because if he's looking for a job, that means that he's either really playing it out or he just needs a ship to, leave on. But also, if he has all that money, he can just jump on a ship and leave. He doesn't need help, so I think that is why Sherlock asked or told him about the job, to test if he needs it, and he seems to need it, so he probably does not have the money. It doesn't make any sense, at least to me, that he would go through all of this shit, hang around here, being drunk, wrestling arms, sleeping in a shithole, when he's got enough money to, do almost anything he wants. So we're gonna go to Baker Street, Jesus, and we're gonna get changed and clean shaven, and then we are going to sort of look at the new clues that we have and see if we can sort of start figuring out what happened. Okay, he's back to normal now. And we're gonna leave this episode here, and next time we're gonna look at, I guess, the remaining clues. There might still be something that we can do, but we'll figure out what that is in the next episode. So I will see you there.